freight train rolling, bringing truth bombs down the line. Promoting the Southland 1 week at a time. Promoting the Southland 1 week at a time. SCV chat starts now.
It's 7 o'clock on a Monday afternoon, so you know what time it is. It is time for your weekly episode of SCV Chat. Before we get started, please remember, the views and opinions expressed in this broadcast are not necessarily the views and opinions of the SCV. It's GEC, Northern Division Brigade Camp Services Subsidiaries. How is everybody doing in Dixieland tonight? We have a great show for you planned where we have the Executive Director of Beauvoir, the last home of Jefferson Davis, and his museum and presidential library on to talk about the 38th annual Fall Muster event. I'm going to not try to steal a lot of Executive Director Smith's thunder and talk about it because I'm bad about that. I love talking about Beauvoir, and I love talking about Fall Muster. It's always had a special place in my heart. So I cannot wait for tonight's episode. How is everybody doing? Make sure to share this episode out. And remember to go on our Patreon, become a member, and you get a lot of great perks. Like, as you'll see at the end of tonight's episode, you get added to the end credits of SCV Chat. So without further ado, I've been wanting to have Jason on for a while anyway, so tonight just worked out perfectly. So I'm going to let him come on, talk about Fall Muster. Sit back, relax, and let's have a great time on SCV Chat. So without further ado, Executive Director of Beauvoir, Jason Smith. How you doing, Jason?
How y'all doing tonight?
Oh, we are good. We are Southerners, and we are happy.
Yep. Yeah, me too. It's an exciting week for us. You know, Fall Muster's just around the corner. We got Cruising the Coast going on right now, so we've got a lot of activity happening this week. I'm still here at the office, and we're getting ready for Fall Muster, which is one of our biggest events of the year. So everybody's always pumped up for that. And a lot of activity happening, a lot of exciting things happening this year for Fall Muster.
Yeah, I can't wait. Fall Muster's always been just a humongous event at Beauvoir, and I think one of our biggest fundraisers. And I forgot the Cruising the Coast was this week. So, yeah, you are extremely busy at Beauvoir for the month of October. But, yeah, Jason, we're happy to have you on.
The month of October is our busiest month.
Yeah. Just tell us a bit about Beauvoir for those who don't know what Beauvoir is, and then we just jump right into Fall Muster. What all is Beauvoir having this year? Just stuff like that.
Okay. Well, for those of y'all that don't know about Beauvoir, I think most of the listeners probably are very familiar with Beauvoir, but let's just kind of give a little recap for those that don't know. Beauvoir was the final home of Jefferson Davis. It was also a Confederate veterans home post-war, and there's a Confederate cemetery here at Beauvoir. We're almost 70 acres altogether, and we're open 7 days a week, 9 to 5. We close 3 days a year. We close Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day, and New Year's Day. Other than that, we're open. Unless we are in the path of a hurricane, and we do close within about 48 hours of a projected landfall of a named hurricane. So short of those things happening, we're here. And when we're not here, we've still got a security team here at night. So, I mean, it's something always happening at Beauvoir 24/7. So we've got the mansion that a lot of people know about where Davis lived. And then there's the museum here, which is quite extensive. We have been working on it since I got here in 2022 to make the museum, better than it was. There was a lot of artifacts here in the vault that just weren't displayed. So we're in the process of bringing displays out and rotating displays. So if you have been to Beauvoir, but you hadn't been in the last 6 months, 8 months, well, it's time to come back because there's a lot of new things to see that wasn't here last time you were here.
Yeah, the work that you and everybody down there has put into Beauvoir is just outstanding. I mean, it's truly awesome to see Beauvoir thriving. The restoration projects y'all have been doing down there with the front gate, with the presidential cottage and the Hayes cottage, and now the kitchen. just all the stuff. Of course, they put up a new General Forrest statue recently, back in July, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, there's literally
So July
always something
13th.
at Beauvoir.
Yeah, July 13th, we put the new monument in, which was Forrest's birthday.
Mm.
And it's one of the things that we're excited about is that was a new monument. So we don't want to become the dumping ground of monuments for the entire Southeast. And that's one thing that we've been scared about. You know, we don't want to say, well, we're going to take your monument, because next thing you know, cities and counties all across the Southeast will want to take their monuments down and send them here. And that's not what we want to be.
Yeah.
We don't want to be the monument dumping ground. This monument was a new monument that was built and donated to Beauvoir, built for Beauvoir. So it makes sense where we put it. It was dedicated on his birthday, on Forrest's birthday, which lined up with the weekend that we had a board meeting going on. So it worked out really well there. But the soldiers that rode with Forrest, that are buried here at Beauvoir, are listed on the sign near the monument now. There's 13 soldiers that rode with Nathan Bedford Forrest at some point in time during the war. And they're listed, the ones that are buried in the cemetery here. So it makes sense that we have this monument, and we're open to putting more monuments here at Beauvoir.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually in the process that the division's working on another monument for us here. But this is a new monument.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of hesitant for monuments they're trying to take down. There's a lot of rumors about, people, hey, do y'all want to take monuments they're going to take down different places? And I'm hesitant to say yes, we want to take them, because I think that's just a slippery slope that leads to excuses for counties and cities to take them down. So
I couldn't agree more. It's one of those things where it's like a Pandora's box, where you don't want to see it be put, behind a dumpster. But at the same time, if you start telling people, yeah, we'll take them, all of a sudden a lot more coming down than they were.
Mm-hmm.
So
so we got to be careful about that. So there's the monument that's come down in Grenada, which is a big deal right now. There's a lawsuit going on there, and it is not displayed anywhere at the moment. There's actually a pending lawsuit on that thing, and it may end up going right back where it was, which I would like to see that happen. But there's also a real possibility that may end up in the cemetery not far from where it was, and that's not a bad move either. That could be an acceptable place for it as well.
Yeah.
What isn't acceptable is behind the Public Works building or behind the fire station, where those are unacceptable places. So we don't want to see that happen.
No, definitely not. As Jason said, Beauvoir has changed a lot. They put in a lot of good work to make sure that if you hadn't been to Beauvoir in the past 8 months, that you definitely want to come. And I put it up at the beginning of the show, but we're going to go ahead and re-throw up the poster for this year's Fall Muster. Of course, this is the 38th annual Fall Muster at Beauvoir. It is on October 18th through the 20th. The school day will be on October 18th. War Between the States battles daily. Period music by the Unreconstructed Band. Living Historians, Camp Life, Ladies' Tea, Period Dance, Small Muster, which I'm sure we'll get into in a second. Settlers and vendors, first-person presentations, food and snacks. Of course, you can see the admission down there, $13 for adults, kids 6 to 17, $7, and children 5 and under are free. And, of course, we encourage everybody to go on Beauvoir's Facebook page, like it, follow it, as well as visit beauvoir.org. Fun fact.
You'll see we're also partnered. You'll see that we're partnered with Coastal Mississippi. They're helping us do some promotional stuff for that, and they're sponsoring this program, Fall Muster, and they're helping us do a lot of radio ads and newspaper ads and stuff to help Fall Muster grow. And we're in partnership with Coastal Mississippi for that this year, so we're excited about that.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. I'm glad to see their logo down there on the poster this year. Fun fact for everybody, you can actually see me. I make a cameo in this year's poster somewhere. Whoever gets it right, I'll give you a cookie next time I see you. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But if you can figure out where I am on the poster, and if you can figure out what GCB's cameo is on the poster, we somehow both managed to be on the poster. And fun fact, while me and GCB were working on a Fall Muster poster, we both got so busy that we had some of our other team make this year's Fall Muster poster. So we had nothing to do with our cameos in the Fall Muster poster. The one I'm working on will be for the 40th. Mm-hmm. So I had nothing to do with it, but if you can figure out where I am, because I make a personal appearance, and some of GCB's property makes an appearance on it. But you have something to say, Jay?
Yeah, something else I want to mention. We were just talking about monuments and fall muster, and this does tie in all together. And here's why: this year at the fall muster, we will have the one of the members that filed the lawsuit in Grenada here at fall muster, drumming up support. So Miss Sue, which is a Grenada resident, and her name is actually the name on the lawsuit. She'll be here at fall muster, accepting donations and accepting name and addresses, because she's going to put together a list of people that may want to write letters when the time comes to send letters. We don't need letters sent at this particular moment in the phase where we're at, but she's going to be here at fall muster, and she's putting together a list. So for people that are interested in helping her, stop by and give her your contact information, your email address, and when the time comes, she'll reach out to you to send letters and emails when we get to that point. And you can also make donations towards this lawsuit. So that's how the monument situation ties into Beauvoir. So she'll actually be here at fall muster, help draw up support for the Grenada monument. And those that understand how politics works and how these kind of things work, just because you're not a Grenada resident doesn't mean it's apply to you, because Grenada can set the precedence for the state. Mm-hmm. We can end up with case law precedents that could affect every other monument in the state of Mississippi. So this could be a really big thing for everyone. So, I'm a resident of Harrison County, and we've got a monument at the Harrison County Courthouse. If this goes right, this will better protect the monument at the Harrison County Courthouse. So yes, even people who aren't residents of Grenada should be interested and concerned about where this particular case goes.
That is for sure. And one thing I want to point out to everybody, since we're talking about monuments, and this kind of goes hand in hand, how pro-history is Beauvoir, and what special thing do we have that, to my knowledge, only a few other places have? And because, you've seen museums like the one in Virginia that turn their back on real history and all of a sudden become woke and trying to make sure they can, I guess, get people in the door, which I'm a big museum fan. I love museums, but even I have to tell you, some days people aren't going to museums like they used to. So, what's something that's special about Beauvoir? Are we pro-history? Is there, special connection?
So we are pro-history, very much pro-history. We are not what you would call a woke museum. In no way, form, or fashion are we woke. We tell the truth. We tell the story as it was. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that we have here that not everybody has is we have the fall muster. We have other living history weekends. Mm-hmm. Where history comes to life. We like to tell people, come to Beauvoir where history comes to life. So there's so many young people, and that's who we're really trying to get this message to, because they're the ones that don't grasp it. Many of the older folks understand the importance of history and where we come from and how important it is, but some of these younger folks don't understand it. And they just don't grasp it reading it from a book. But when they can come to Beauvoir and they can feel it, and at fall muster, not only can you feel it, you can smell it. You can feel it in your bones when the artillery fires and the ground shakes. You're not just seeing it. You're not just hearing it. You're feeling it and you're smelling it. You taste it. It is the full experience of history, and that's one of the things that we offer that not every museum can offer. Mm-hmm. So the fall muster is the biggest time of the year to offer that, but we also offer it on our third Saturday Living History weekends. Mm-hmm. We offer that as well. It's not quite the same experience, not near the amount of artillery and the amount of cavalry and things like that. It's not the same equivalent, but it is a taste of it. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing that Beauvoir brings that just so many people can't bring to the table, and museum wise, and we can. And it brings in young people and new people that have never been otherwise. So our goal is to get them here because they want to see something different. They want to be entertained in a lot of cases. The fall muster is entertaining. But when they get here to be entertained, we can teach them something as well. Mm-hmm. We can teach them something to take them home with them. And then they can go home and share that with other people. And they can go to school and share that with other people. And that's how we grow our cause, and that's how we grow understanding of history.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Jason. That's why I love the Fall Muster event. I love the school day. I love Saturday and Sunday when you see so many young kids in the audience experiencing this for the first time. When you get that feeling when you make someone watch a movie that you love that you've never that you've seen hundreds of times they've never seen before, is what I feel when I go to Fall Muster now. I went to my first Fall Muster 4 years ago, I think now, maybe three. And I loved it so much. And of course, I was already, a big part of history in the cause. I mean, it's had my heart since I was 8, but it's different at Fall Muster. And I've been to a lot of reenactments, and I'm not trying to say they're bad reenactments or knock them down, but there's just something about Fall Muster. I don't know if it's because you're walking the same grounds that Jefferson Davis walked or all these veterans walked after the war, or just the community that gets around Fall Muster with Beauvoir. But it just feels special. And we actually have the other founder of SCV Chat in our chat, Connor Bond, talking about the Tomb of the Unknown Confederate Soldier, which also has a very cool story. That is the official, recognized Tomb of the Unknown Confederate Soldier.
That's right. I find it funny that you said that 4 years ago was your first Fall Muster. It makes me feel old. My first Fall Muster was over 30 years ago. So,
well, it was one of those things where I always went to Fall Muster. It somehow fell like after or before Fall Muster as a kid. Dad would always take me down to Fall Muster, but Beauvoir. But it seemed like there was always something happening where I couldn't come to Fall Muster. And then when I got into college,
okay. All right, let's stop. I got helpers showing up here.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, you need some helpers. But when I got into college, I remember texting Dad being like, "I got to go to Fall Muster." And every Fall Muster for my first 2 or 3 years in college, I had something to do. I was working with another nonprofit history organization about specifically Ole Miss history and traditions. And we always had something that Saturday. And of course, I was living in Oxford, which made it more interesting. But I'll never forget that first Fall Muster, and I love it. And Miss Susie's right. It feels like you're coming home every time. It feels like you are just at this warm homecoming. It doesn't matter how many times I go to Beauvoir, Fall Muster it feels different. It feels like a major event. It feels like it has something special to it. And
it does. Every year special. Every year. There's no year of Fall Muster that was a bad year. I don't know of a bad year Fall Muster. Some years are more exciting than others, and some years have higher attendance than others. But there's no such thing as a bad Fall Muster. I've never been to a Fall Muster that was bad.
Neither have I. And I know people like Connor and Susie have been to near about every one of them, and they'll say the same thing. They've never been to a bad Fall Muster. Of course, they have their favorites, but it's always a great time. Even last year, where it was the first time that I guess volunteered or got voluntold. I'm really unsure, honestly, but helped out with the event itself. And Jason, no one could pay me enough to do what y'all do during Fall Muster, because I know I was running like a chicken with my head cut off. I couldn't imagine you and everybody else. I remember after the event just sitting down for like an hour, just being like, I don't want anybody to talk to me. Let's just enjoy the peace of a successful Fall Muster. But so
it's kind of my world. It's what my background's racetrack business, which is high chaos, a lot of things happening at once, and it's extreme chaos for several hours trying to coordinate it all. And that's my background's racetrack business. So Fall Muster, although it's stressful and tiring, and it's a high chaos event to manage because there's so many moving parts, it's my background. Racetrack business is even more chaos than this. So this is really not bad. Fall Muster isn't that bad.
And one thing I always love about it is that it's the place where the South always wins.
That's right. Which is our T-shirts and stuff this year say that. That's so we've got our new gift shop merchandise that we put out today. It was actually brought out of the warehouse today. So this year for Fall Muster, we have some limited edition magnets that we made. They're burnt wood, refrigerator magnets. They'll retail for $5.95 a piece. We have a limited supply of those. We have the coffee cups, 11-ounce coffee cups, which you've seen some pictures of some of those. They're pretty sharp looking. And we got our T-shirts. We didn't do any kid-size shirts this year. We did some kid-size shirts last year, and they were a little bit slow to move. So we have adult sizes from small to 2X. But so the T-shirts are out now, and magnets are out, and coffee cups. So we didn't do a challenge coin this year. We talked about possibly doing a challenge coin. We just said we'll wait to the 40s and do a challenge coin.
I love the coffee cups and T-shirts. That's one, I've always gotten a T-shirt, but let me tell you, when you came up and we're like, we have coffee cups, I already spent like over $100 in the gift shop that day, and I was like, do I really need another coffee cup? And then I saw the design, and I was like, well, yes, I do need another coffee cup.
Yeah, we're proud of it. And those of y'all that haven't been to Beauvoir recently, you really need to come check out our gift shop. So we've made a lot of changes in the museum and a lot of changes in place. But the gift shop, we have made a tremendous change in the amount of inventory that we keep in the gift shop. We have had a major changeover in inventory and a lot of specialized inventory that is only available at Beauvoir. So we've got books that are back in print now that have been out of print for years that we were able to acquire the rights to and put them back in print and have them printed. So there's a lot of things that are now being printed by Beauvoir Press that you can't buy anywhere but Beauvoir. So we've got a lot of exciting things that are happening.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. We might not have gotten to it yet, but isn't one of those the Rise and Fall of the Confederacy by Jefferson Davis? Are we working on that still?
That's in process.
Okay.
They will not be available until probably sometime early 2025. We're talking February, maybe as late as March. So to get them printed the way we wanted them printed, I could get them paperback and get it done pretty easy here in the States. Easy. There's a lot of printers. There's very few printers that will offer what we want in a hardback, cloth-bound hardback. That's what we want. I don't want a cheap-looking book for the Rise and Fall.
Yeah.
We want something, because let's just be honest about it. A lot of people that purchase the book won't actually read it. They're going to put it on their coffee table as a status thing to say, hey, I own the Rise and Fall from Davis.
Yeah, that he wrote.
They're really not going to read it. So at that point in time, they're not interested in a paperback. They want something that's a quality looking, cloth bound hardback, something that looks appropriate, something that looks presidential. We don't want something that looks cheap. We want something that looks presidential.
Yeah.
So there's only a handful of companies that will print those for us. And we've been kind of limited on that. So we haven't got those printed yet. Some of these other books we were able to get printed quicker because we went with paperback. And there's some of these books I didn't mind printing in paperback because they didn't need the level of quality that the Rise and Fall deserves. So we've been a little bit delayed on that.
I agree. And I mean, that is something special. I mean, I'll buy, this is how much of a history geek I am, I suppose. I'll buy one to read and one to display. That's just the type of person I am. But yeah, Jack DuPont in the chat. And of course, you can go to www.visitbeauvoir.org/online store to see what Jason's talking about. Or, of course, better yet, go there in person. It's a phenomenal place. I get all my flags there for my farm. And just, of course, so many great book selections as well. But, you know, Jack has a point. Those T-shirts have become tradition at Beauvoir. And it feels like it marks the feeling of a very big event to have the T-shirt. I feel like I'm going to a concert or a Super Bowl, if you will, getting those T-shirts every year. And I love collecting them. Connor told me I need to buy another one of the Rise and Falls of Confederacy to pay him back for a book I lost. That's not funny. But let's talk about a couple more things that's on the flyer real quick. I'll throw it back up there. You know, talked about the living historians that come on the third Saturday Living History. We are blessed at Mississippi and at Beauvoir to have some great reenactors and living historians who go all in to make sure that kids, families, adults all get the experience of what it would have been like to be a soldier during that time, to be at war, to be, of course, you know, a Confederate soldier. I think that's something special we have that, you know, every third Saturday we have one come out. And if I'm not mistaken, we had one a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so we have them, try to have them year round. And they are an important part of what we do here. So a lot of the times when we have that going on, we just end up with tourists that had no idea that we had a living history going on that day. They just came to Beauvoir because it was on their list of things, bucket list, and they end up here on a living history day and they get a little extra surprise. What we really want to try to get to the point where it's something that people are looking for, which we're not quite there yet. We're heading that way. We've got to get Beauvoir's image where we need it to be and the marketing where we need it to be. And that's one of the things I'm excited about for Fall Muster is, partnership with Coastal Mississippi to help do a bunch of advertising. So we're running over $5,000 worth of radio ads leading into Fall Muster this year. So Fall Muster has had a big radio advertising budget many years ago, but in the recent years, there hasn't been a whole lot of radio ads. It's been very small amounts. So we're going to be on, I think, a total of 13 different radio stations this month.
That's awesome.
Advertising, getting ready for Fall Muster. So I anticipate a good sized crowd. If the weather holds out and the weather's decent, we'll see a huge crowd. Reenactor wise, I think we maybe see a small uptick from where we were last year. We had a decent reenactor crowd last year. I think we may see a small uptick in that, but I'm hoping to see a big uptick in the attendance of the spectators. We may see a little uptick for the reenactors. We now have a shower for them, which we've never had before. Beauvoir's always had bathrooms and portalettes. We now, last year, we rented the nice bathroom trailers. Those were a nice addition. We'll have that again this year. But we also have showers on property now. So that's a new thing that reenactors may want to be able to get a shower after, Saturday afternoon and clean up and smell nice for the dance Saturday evening.
Yeah, that will be phenomenal. I know it will be a great pleasure that I'm going to be using. But something to talk about real quick. Something that's also special about Beauvoir is owned and operated by the Beauvoir Corporation, which its membership is made up of the United Mississippi Division Sons of Confederate Veterans. And as something that's special about us is that membership is also the same as the Mississippi Division Sons of Confederate Veterans. We'll bring GCB on, and he can give you the full legal description. But we also have a lot of vendors at Beauvoir, and a lot of them are Mississippi camps setting up to sell food and stuff to the public. And so, I mean, you're supporting the cause whenever you turn around here. We got a turkey shoot, Confederate sausage dogs, burgers, hot dogs, just the whole 9 yards. They go out. Usually the OCR sets up, and last year the UDC did. So, I mean, it's a big heritage event as well that brings us all together as heritage organizations, which is something I also love.
And Top Hat will be here this year as well as a period vendor. So, they're in the path of the storm coming in. The storm coming at them they're in the path. So they're actually bringing their trailer and equipment to Beauvoir right now.
Wow.
They're bringing their stuff now. They're currently en route to bring it to Beauvoir. It's a safe place to leave it because they are currently in the path of the projected hurricane that's coming at them. So spoke to them earlier today, and they're bringing their stuff to Beauvoir. And they asked could they bring it early to make sure that it was safe from the storm, and said bring it on. So
that's
they're going to
awesome.
be here.
Top Hat is just a phenomenal vendor. They're pretty well known, I would say, in the reenacting community. I don't think I go to a reenactment that I either don't see them or hear about Top Hat. And I'm so happy that that they are making it to Fall Muster. And speaking real quick on the hurricanes, that for the people who have already been affected, we are praying for you and hope you see some relief come to your way very shortly. And the Florida man, one of our co-hosts of the show, says Top Hat lives over by him. And so I do want to pray for all our Florida Division members tonight after the show, please, because it's about to get crazy. But yeah, I'm glad they're going ahead to come on up. And our commander-in-chief, Walter D. Donnie Kennedy, had to point out that Beauvoir has a lot of great books, and some of them are his. So
They are.
make sure to go check that out.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that's great.
in the gift shop, the one that's listed as executive director pick is Punished with Poverty, which is the Kennedy book. That is my favorite book in the gift shop. Out of everything we sell in the gift shop, Punished with Poverty, in my opinion, is one of the best books that we sell, and it's a Kennedy book.
Oh yeah, that is phenomenal. I've been wanting to read that book for a while, and real quick on the storm, and we're going to take a quick commercial break and come back and continue to talk about fall muster. But Commander in Chief Candy also wanted to point out to make sure you donate to the SCV Disaster Relief Fund. You can go to scv.org, hit donate, scroll down. You'll see the Disaster Relief Fund. And fun fact, the picture on the Disaster Relief Fund link is of Beauvoir after Katrina. So we definitely know what it is like in Mississippi, and especially at Beauvoir, to be hit by these destructive hurricanes. So you have our prayers, and we hope again that y'all get some relief soon. But make sure to go donate to that. And let me scroll down here to our commercial breaks. And remind everybody that the commercial break tonight is sponsored by scvchat.com, where you can go watch us live and see a lot of other cool stuff on our website. Our Patreon, if you want to become a member of the SCV Chat Patreon, help us stay on the air and make sure that you get some awesome exclusive perks. You get your own show. You get your name added to the end credits of every episode produced by SCV Chat, and so many more things, and so many things we're working on getting to y'all. So please make sure you go support us on Patreon, and make sure you go support this season's sponsor, Creative Cockade. If you want a cost-effective and historically accurate cockade, go visit creativecockades.com. They do a phenomenal job. We used them this year for the Mississippi Division reunion. Instead of a medal, we had the Mississippi Division Secession cockade. Here's a picture of a UCV cockade with General Robert E. Lee on it. And then here's one of Jefferson Davis. So we might have to get Jason that and require him to wear it at all times. I'm sure he would love that. But we will be right back after this commercial break, and we'll see y'all very shortly.
There is a place, nestled in the rolling farmland of southern Middle Tennessee. A home, constructed in 1837, nearly lost to the ravages of war. Saved by a servant and a Confederate general. A place where families loved and lost. If walls could talk, what stories could be told? If a place, a home, can feel love, loss, pain, surely this is one of those places. Nearby is a more recent structure, and inside are the stories of heroes and heroines, stories of battles won and lost, stories of sacrifices made by the people of its native soil. A place that will tell the true and complete story of the Southland and the war fought for its freedom. From the causes that led to the conflict to the modern-day struggles to protect Southern history. Historic Elm Springs and the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs are the general headquarters for the Sons of Confederate Veterans. A place where the story of the Southland and its historic struggle is preserved and told. Come and discover your history.
Oh, goosebumps all the time. Want a quick reminder that, of course, that commercial break is sponsored by scvchat.com, the SCV Chat Patreon. Make sure to keep us on the air and get a lot of cool exclusive perks by doing it. And, of course, creativecockades.company.store. And you can get historically accurate cockades at a reasonable price. And real quick before we get back into Beauvoir, quick reminder that headquarters will have a car show this weekend. Y'all are all welcome to come, as well as the GEC meeting. Of course, if you are a member of the Sons of Confederate Veterans, you can go to the GEC meeting. Everybody's welcomed at the car show. But just jumping back into things, something I said that we would talk about a bit is small muster, where you can get your kids involved in the action and make them really feel it in their bones. They can do a couple drills with some wooden muskets. It's a fun time. Absolutely phenomenal. And I just seeing kids' face that they get to do it is hilarious. They just seem like they're so happy, and they get to be a soldier for a bit. It's phenomenal, and of course that period dance will be great too with Unreconstructed. Remember that. Trying to think. I'll let Jason take over, I suppose, and get back into talking about fall muster or anything we've missed.
Yeah, fall muster is great. So we try to plug the kids in. So we call this a family event. It really is for all ages. So we anticipate, people bringing their kids or their grandkids to come to fall muster, and small muster is just a way to put these kids' energy to use. Let them be a part of it. I've got 4 sons myself, and they just love to be a part of things like this. It's exciting. It's one of their, last year was the first year to do the small muster, so they had a good time with that. The turkey shoot that you were speaking about earlier, that's put on by the Brandon camp, that is one of my boys' favorite things each year. They get excited about that, and it used to cost me, $50-$60 coming into that. Well, the last couple of years, it's cost me a couple $100 coming into that ordeal. But they have fun with it, and it's one of their favorite things about fall muster is that turkey shoot, and that's for adults or kids that can be a part of that. So
I was about to say I took part in it a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's a really a fun thing for people to do. Something that we do want to talk about is those that are coming in from out of town, those that want to come stay with us. So we have a few RV spots that are already booked up, the ones with power. But if you have an RV that has a generator or whatever, we have plenty of RV parking for people that want to come spend the weekend here that have an RV but don't need power and water. We have plenty of RV spots, more than enough. So we do have a limited number of RV spots with power, and those are booked already. But if you've got an RV and you don't need power and water, we've got plenty of spots for you. And we'd like for you to bring your RV and come spend the weekend with us. If you don't have an RV and you're coming from out of town, we put together a deal with the hotel that's closest to us, the Quality Inn, which is just the other side of the Coliseum. This is the closest hotel to us. It's a nice hotel. And they offered a rate for Fall Muster weekend at $90 per room. And if you look at beachfront hotels, that's a pretty good deal. If you hear, $90 a room, that sounds kind of high. Well, if you compare it to some places in the country, maybe it is. But as far as beachfront hotels go, $90 is a really good rate. So we're excited about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And real quick, I do want to remind our reenactors that registration is still open. You can go to, I believe it's on the website, www.visitbeauvoir.org, as well as
Cognito Forms. It's also going through there as well. There's some that come through that way as well.
Oh yeah, it's always something interesting. And I believe it's also on the Facebook page. We'll share that out so everybody can find it, so you can register. But Beauvoir is always, I think, especially with Fall Muster, going to be a family event. I mean, there's something for the adults, or something for the grandparents, or something for the grandkids and kids. It's truly a special event, like with the turkey shoot and small muster, with something focused on the kids, and they actually do learn something while they're there. And of course, you can go to the gift shop and get all your battle flag needs.
Yes, we want to make sure you go to the gift shop. Go check out the items.
Oh, yeah.
So Sunday morning will be a Sunday morning church service at the cemetery. Pastor Bo Como, that has preached for us before at Fall Muster, will be preaching again this year for Fall Muster. He brings a Sunday morning message. So, if you, worried about missing church on Sunday morning, and you can come just join church with us. And we have a memorial service at the Tomb of the Unknown as well. And that's a very moving thing. If you've never been to that, it's a very moving thing. So let me tell you about the Tomb of the Unknown. As a young man, I came to Beauvoir, Fall Muster each year and different things like that. And I always thought that the Tomb of the Unknown was a very powerful thing. When you stopped and pondered upon the significance of what that was, I always thought it was very powerful and moving. And then when I became a father, then when I became a father of teenage sons, that's when it really hit home. Because when I stop and think that young man that's in that tomb was a teenager, he was a young man, somewhere between 14 and 17 years old. And he died fighting for a cause. And he may have been 100 miles from home. He may have been 400 miles from home. We really don't know exactly where he was, but we know where he died at. And he never made it home. So his mother, his father, his brothers, his sisters, aunt, uncles, so on, spent the rest of their days wondering what happened to him. You know, where is he? And that was always significant. But after I become a father, it became even more significant to me. So everything that we do back there at that tomb is powerful and moving.
Very powerful.
If you've never been, come and experience that.
I think it was last year at some point there was a band playing a slow version of Dixie. And we were all by the Tomb of the Unknown Confederate Soldier. And I mean, I got emotional because I'm just a couple years older than the guy in there myself. You know, and when I was around his age, it was even worse. Like, okay, I couldn't imagine that. And the fact that he went and sacrificed everything to go defend his home. And it's crazy. And
so when I was in high school and I came to Beauvoir, when I was in high school, because I'm born and raised here on the coast, born and raised right here in South Mississippi, been here my whole life. And so I came to Beauvoir as a young man, you know, and we came for fall muster each year. When I was a young man, I didn't come to Beauvoir on a regular case. You know, we came for fall muster. That's pretty much the only time I came to Beauvoir. I didn't come again to the next fall muster. But I remember looking at that tomb and thinking that was significant. I was a young man at my age. And it was powerful then. But I can tell you this, when you've got sons that are that age, it's even more powerful. It hits you even harder than it does when you're a young man. When you have children at that age, that's when it really just grabs a hold of you. And you realize the significance of what that is, what that represents. Because there's a lot of young men that never made it home. He's not the only one. There's a lot of that just never came home, and their families spent the rest of the years wondering what really happened to them. And that would be a tough thing to live with. And that happened all across the Southland. And people say, well, you know, why were all these monuments built? Well, this monument was built 20 years after the war. This one was 25 years after the war. What was the reason for that? Well, there was a few things going on at that point in time. Poverty, extreme poverty post-war, extreme poverty, which is part of the book I was telling you about a while ago. That's one of my favorite Kennedy books, Punished with Poverty. Talk about how much poverty existed in the South post-war during Reconstruction. So, you know, when people say, well, this really wasn't really a war monument, was put up 20, 25 years, 30 years after the war. Well, it took them that long to get on their feet and raise the money to do this. And they put these monuments up. And a lot of times these women that were donating, that didn't have much, they were donating to these monuments because their son never came home. They've been 25 years since they've seen their son, or 25 years since they've seen their brother or husband, or whatever the case is. It's gone. 25 years they've lived not knowing what happened to them. 30 years. They were donating to this as they could. And these monuments got put up. And when these monuments got put up, there were mothers and wives, widows that were there that were hurting. And that's the reason these monuments are so important to us. We sometimes pause and think, you know, was it really put up by people that, because I've heard the speech I've heard before, which I don't agree with, is that monument was put up 30 years after the war. How really important can it be? That charges me up.
Yeah.
You got to understand the poverty that existed after the war. And it took a long time to raise that money. And people had spent, by the time the monument got put up, it's 30 years of pain that's gone by. The loss of a loved one. Sometimes they knew right where they were. Sometimes they knew, you know, how they died and where they were. But a lot of times they didn't. They just knew they didn't come back. And that's what this soldier in our cemetery represents. He represents a young man that just never made it home. And it's powerful. Come the fall muster just for the excitement of the battle reenactment weekend and all the vendors and just the fun and excitement it is. But if you want to come to Sunday morning, come to Sunday morning church service and then come to Sunday morning memorial service at the tomb. And that's a experience.
I mean, it's a phenomenal experience. And I think I've said it on the show before. There is a Tomb of the Unknown Soldier for the United States. This is ours. This is the Southern equivalent of that, the Tomb of the Unknown Confederate Soldier. And I ask anybody and beg you to, when you go by there, pay your respects to all the unknown Confederate soldiers that didn't make it home, and give a bit of silence. Let the moment take control of you, because I mean, when I'm sitting there for the church service, I'm usually going back and forth between the pastor and the tomb, just thinking. And the same thing with the memorial service, where it's just testing.
I hear you clearly.
I don't know what happened to my mic there, but when you're at the memorial service, just letting the moment take over you. So yeah, please go visit that. One last thing on the reenactors I did forget to mention is that if you don't have a unit to fall in with, you can always fall in with numerous amounts of folks. Everybody's very happy and welcoming to help reenactors. For those who don't know, I'm still very new to reenacting. And I tell people that every time, like, look, I've been reenacting for a couple of years, but I've only reenacted a handful of times. So, be patient, help me out. And they're always some of the kindest people helping me out. And normally, like last year, I was running off and on the field. It was very tiring for someone who is as large as I have gotten. I burned a good 20 pounds off and regained it right back with a Confederate sausage dog real quick. But with that being said, is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap it up?
We have a jambalaya this year as well at Fall Muster.
Ooh,
so we
yeah.
always have Confederate sausage dog, but we have jambalaya this year. So we had a little bit of jambalaya last year. It's pretty good.
Oh,
so
yeah.
they're going to do that again this year.
I snuck some last year. So I usually get a sausage dog Friday or Saturday, and then the burgers Saturday or Sunday. Try to go support everybody. And I think Sunday night before I left, I went over and I was like, any jambalaya left? Just a tiny bit to help me get home. And I think I sat inside and maybe even talked to you while I ate it.
Yeah.
But with all that being said, if you don't have anything else you want to talk about, Executive Director Smith, we'll start wrapping up the show.
No, I just want to invite people to come to Beauvoir at any time. So if you're not available to come during Fall Muster, you're missing out. But if you just can't come during Fall Muster, you can come other times. And I want to mention one other thing that people can help us support Fall Muster. There's a couple ways you can help. So if you're close by and you want to come by and grab a poster, we have plenty of posters that you could hang at any kind of public place. So it's a gas station or school or church, wherever that you may have, civic center. So we have some posters for those of y'all that want to come by and grab a poster. You can help us spread the word about Fall Muster that way. You can also go to our Facebook page, like and share. So we've got daily updates that we're putting out about the Fall Muster coming up. You can go and click like and share on those, and that helps us as well. Helps us to grow Fall Muster. But you can help us at any given time. Just go to our Facebook page and like and share things that's on our Facebook page. Go to Google and give us a 5-star review on Google, TripAdvisor, so forth. You can do things like that helps us year round. And there's ways that you can help us without spending any money. And if you want to spend some money, you want to come to the gift shop and spend $100, come on, come spend it. Or if you want to mail us a check, you can mail us a check. Well, put it in the bank. But there's ways to help us without spending any money. What I want everybody to know. So it doesn't matter who you are or where you're at in life. There's a way you can help be a part of what we've got going on here. And it might be something as simple as maybe you live close by and you want to come help us and you want to come cut firewood, get ready for Fall Muster. We got plenty of wood to cut. If you're a person that has the ability to come cut some firewood, we can plug you in. Show up here and we'll find a way to make you a part of it. So no matter who you are, we'll find a way to plug you in here at Beauvoir and make you a part of what we've got going on.
And that's the great thing about Beauvoir that I love is that there's always something that you can do to help out. And it's always so welcoming and just as we said at the beginning of the show, it just feels like home. And for us, in the Mississippi Division, it is home. Veterans walked to those grounds. Jefferson Davis walked to those grounds. And every time I think about it, it gets me right in the heart and gives me chills. I mean, we had one president, and this was his home. And it was a home for a lot of veterans as well that are buried on the property. This was their final resting place. And so, yes, please go make sure to support Beauvoir. Again, on Facebook, Beauvoir, the Jefferson Davis Home and Presidential Library. And, of course, their website, visit beauvoir.org. Make sure to go support them, everybody. You will not regret it. And, of course, please try to attend Fall Muster. Phenomenal event. I am going to throw up their poster one more time. And, oh, yeah, I almost forgot. Okay. Before we end the show, where is y'all's guesses on my cameo and Connor's GCB somewhat cameo? He's not in it on the poster, but he somewhat is. So I will give y'all a couple seconds to respond in the chat before I say it. But yeah, just remember the 38th annual Fall Muster at Beauvoir, October 18th through the 20th. October 18th will be a school day. War Between the States battles daily, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Period music by the unreconstructed band, Living Historians, Camp Life, a ladies' tea, a period dance, small muster, settlers and vendors, first-person presentations, food and snacks. Admission is $13 for kids 6 through 17. It's $7, and for kids 5 and under, it's free. Again, please go follow them on Facebook and their website. And, of course, I'll let Jason take this over. And please remember our partnership with
Coastal Mississippi. They are helping promote this for us, and we're excited about having them as a partner this year and the promotion that they're bringing to the table.
Yeah, and that is one of the greatest things that's happened this year, just all the stuff they've helped us be able to do and get Fall Muster to even more people. And hopefully we will see many of you down there. So real quick, the tent and flag in the upper left-hand corner of your screen, that is GCB's tent. That's his cameo. That's his flag and tent. He might even be in the tent when this picture was taken. I'm unsure. And in the lower left-hand corner, that is me holding GCB's flag on one of the Fall Musters as I march off behind Past Commander-in-Chief Larry McClooney, our General Beauregard. So there's our cameos again. We didn't design those. Funny enough, it's 2 years away, and I somehow started working on the 40th one. So I had no touching in that. I want to thank the people we assigned. That was nice of them to give me a cameo in GCB. I love the poster this year.
I think she did a great job on that poster. I think it looks sharp.
Phenomenal. But we're going to go ahead and wrap up the show now. I want everybody to thank Executive Director Jason Smith for coming on, taking time out, probably his busiest time of the year at Beauvoir with cruising the coast this week and then Fall Muster. So, let's please thank him for giving us the hour to come on. And make sure you share this episode out so we can get it to as many people as possible. Like it, comment, everything you can do. You can share us on Facebook and YouTube. And make sure you email scvyouth@gmail.com to be featured on the upcoming episode of Look Around the Confederation this Thursday at 7 p.m. Confederate Standard Time. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And I would like to thank all our Patreons for all their support. And, of course, one more time, our Beauvoir Executive Director, Jason Smith. And in the words of the late, great Harold Philpotts, remember, chatheads, no fumar in the elevator. Good night, everybody.
Good night.